It's a busy family's best friend, the slow cooker. Use it all the time.
Joining us now is local author Brenda Stanley, who has a new recipe book out. Hello, Brenda.
Hello.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about why the crock pot.
Well, you know, because I obviously had a lot of children, and so a big family.
And time was limited.
Exactly. And you know, like a lot of people, I was working, and even if you don't work outside the home, there are, you know, PTA meetings and there are, you know, church things or whatever it is that you do.
So busy.
Makes you busy. And so I always used it, and I always wrote down little recipes, and I always tweak things. I love to take recipes and then tweak them. And that's basically what I ended up with, was all of the recipes that I've used over the years that we really liked. And
nice. So these are Brenda family tested.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. In fact, that's exactly what they are. And some of them are so incredibly simple that you'll be surprised you haven't just, used them.
And that's one of the things that's so nice about slow cooking. You can make a huge one-pot meal that you don't really have to think about again after that first, 10 minutes of putting it together.
Exactly. And one thing that I do, I think, you know, people look at the crock pot and think, okay, I've got to get up earlier in the morning because I've got to get it all set up.
Set the alarm at 4 o'clock to wake up.
You don't have to do that. I do a lot of my stuff the night before. And then because they've got these lift out kind now, you just put that in the fridge, and in the morning you take it out, put it on, boom, and you're done. So it's really nice.
I've even done it, cooked it overnight before, where then you, if you have to eat earlier, like it's a noon kind of meal or something, it works really well. Okay, here's my big question about slow cooking.
Yes.
Do you cook it for 4 hours on high or 10 hours on low? Like, what's the best way to cook it, or does it matter with the recipe?
It really depends on what it is you're cooking. The majority of the main dishes that I have in here are for like 8 to 10 hours.
Okay.
They're longer, and it's always usually on low. And that way, it really takes advantage of that low, slow cooking, which makes everything extra tender and just so much better.
Now tell us that's got to be some sort of barbecue right there.
That is. In fact, that's the barbecue beef, and it is, you know, and it's a homemade barbecue sauce that you put everything in there with onions, and it's just a simple chuck roast. So it's a cheap roast, and actually those are the best for the crock pot because they seem to be so much more tender when they're cooked all day like that. And then, of course, when you're done, you know, on the bun it goes. Now this one here, I'm going to leave the recipe with you so that you can go on the KPVI website and be able to do this. But this is the spicy Asian beef short ribs. And they are so good and so tender, and it's just got this really amazing sauce that cooks into it. But you also have, you can see in the background there, baby carrots and some other things that has that sauce.
And they take that flavor on into it, don't they?
They do.
That just sounds delicious.
Actually, one of my family's absolute favorite is the beef short ribs.
What's one of the biggest faux pas when it comes to cooking in a crock pot?
Well, I think overfilling it is one thing. You know, you've got to make sure you've got the right size for your family. I have several. I've got one that's smaller than this, and then I've got one that I just got that I love. It's actually quite large. And when you remove the inner area, you can actually put it on the stove top. So you can like brown your meats and so forth, and then you don't have to have an extra pan.
You don't have to transfer back and forth.
It's really nice. One of the other big things is the check. You know, everybody wants to check and see.
Because it just smells so yummy.
Yeah, or stir it or whatever. And every time you lift this lid, it takes 15 minutes for it to get back up to the heat that you need
so you're
for
slow and everything down.
And you're absolutely
Now, coming up this weekend, you're going to be signing the cookbook. Where at?
Yes. My good friends at Town and Country Garden have been so supportive with both my Zucchini Houdini cookbook and with the new one, and it's a slow cooker cookbook called That's a Lot of Crock. And it's going to be from noon until 2 at the Town and Country Gardens in Pocatello. And I really hope people come out and see me.
If they can't come to the signing, where can they get your book?
Just about anywhere. Online at Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble. And actually, somebody told me that they saw it in the Pocatello Costco.
Excellent.
So, yeah, it's all over the place.
Brenda, thank you so much. We are now very hungry.
Well,
It worked.
Thanks for bringing me on.